And we are back with another Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke, and in this video, I'll be attempting the Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge in Pokemon OmegaRuby using nothing but the fighting type, and on only one attempt. Now, time to get this challenge started. We begin the journey in our favorite region of Hoenn. Definitely wasn't the best game. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald weren't my favorites, but the remakes here definitely have, in my opinion, really improved a lot of things. Probably my all-time favorite remake that they've ever done. And unfortunately, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl could have taken that spot, but we all know how those games are. So we begin the journey here just by kind of meeting the neighbors and the locals. Again, as per usual, just trying to get a feel of the land and seeing who the difficult players are going to be early on. Definitely May here, since she's going to pick the starter that's strong against yours, and with these new generation of games giving the starters their stab moves right off the bat, she will be the first major challenge that we're going to face in this Nuzlocke run here. So, exiting out Little Root here, definitely ran into this child who informs you that the local professor is under attack by a rabid Poochyena. Somehow he just dropped his bag when a Pokemon came out. He's not a trained professional with a level 2 Poochyena. So this prompts me to just pick the starter. So since I'm going to be using the fighting type in this game, decided that Torchic is going to be the obvious only choice here. So I picked a Torchic, named it Atkins, and decided to go about my merry way. And again, the first difficult challenge here being May. So since I have a Torchic, she's definitely going to lead here with the Mudkip as her only Pokemon. And this definitely could have turned sideways in this first battle here, because that Mudkip is definitely packing a Water Gun. And I really can't touch it. Just having the level and the stats advantage is my real only hope here as I go for a Scratch. As it goes for a Tackle, I guess not really using the Water Gun. I don't know if the AI in this game is just kind of canning the first battle here, but we got a crit with the second Scratch as it uses Tackle again, avoiding the Water Gun for whatever reason. Go for another Scratch, which doesn't take it out, but it definitely goes for the Tackle. I was definitely fearing the Water Gun, wondering when that was going to show, but luckily it did not, as the final Scratch took out the Mudkip, netting me the first difficult battle, I would say. So following this battle, Atkins just does gain a level here. We definitely beat our rival, and now we can finally start our journey by looking in this grass for what felt like eternity and running into not only a route, but a male route, which falls into a Gallade. He was part fighting, and we wound up catching the routes, nicknaming him Jai White, before continuing on and meeting up with our new rival, Wally. Now, luckily, Wally has some sort of very high luck stat, because it took me such a long time to find the routes. I almost gave up on it frame 1, but frame 1 here for him, he definitely finds that routes. And not only is it just a regular routes, it's a male route. So he winds up catching that before I head off into the woods here to find a Shroomish to eventually evolve into a Breloom. Catching the Shroomish definitely wasn't a problem, and I definitely needed the Shroomish, especially against the first gym leader. I decided to name the Shroomish Norris before continuing on and immediately challenging Roxanne. Now with Shroomish on the team, I had absolutely no issue with this gym leader. I had all of the arrogance, all of the ego in the world in my ability to take out Roxanne and her 2 rock types here. So she leads with the Geodude as I lead with Shroomish, and Shroomish definitely having the grass type advantage definitely helps out against this battle. So just go turn 1, go for the Mega Drain. Would have gotten the KO, but that pesky little Sturdy definitely saved it as it goes for a Rock Tomb, doing some pretty decent damage there, lowering my speed. So as Roxanne goes for the potion, it's not going to heal up Geodude up to full health, reactivating its Sturdy. So another Mega Drain is enough to finish out the Geodude and get all of my health back before this Nose Pass comes out. almost all of my health back. So Norris gains the level here, and going into Nose Pass, I definitely have no worries that Nose Pass can't really hurt me. So as Nose Pass goes for the tackle, somehow it just outspeeds Shroomish, but with that speed drop, it's totally understandable. As I go for the stun spore here to hopefully get some paralysis off and to lower Nose Pass's speed even further. So after the paralysis, I decided to go for the Leech Seed just to kind of set up on this Nose Pass, because I know that this thing is definitely going to be a slog to get through, so any passive damage is definitely going to help out. So as Norris is getting that Leech Seed chip damage off, decided to just stay in and just go for the Mega Drains and kind of hope that Roxanne doesn't get any critical hits. So it breaks through and goes for the Rock Tomb, which does a pretty good amount of damage with the critical hit there, lowering my speed yet again. But the Leech Seed just kind of getting that chip damage and getting that a little bit of health back every turn. And then going for the Mega Drain every turn, I was able to just take out Nose Pass with a few Mega Drains. And that was all she wrote for the first gym battle. Yeah, so Roxanne definitely wasn't going to be an issue before I set sail, heading to Dukeford Town and to a pretty challenging threat, I would say, in Brawley, the fighting type gym leader, trying to prove who's the best fighting type. So on my way to Dukeford, I definitely plan on catching a Makuhita. It's going to be my next capture soon when I'm talking to Briny here, and just kind of getting my way around town. So in Granite Cave, I finally do encounter that Makuhita that I decided like would definitely be useful. It has some nice natural bulk, so I decided to catch it, and great addition to the party here. So definitely going to use routes for that next challenge. But I caught it and named it Yen. And right before the gym battle, I also decided to evolve my Torchic into a Combuskin just for that, that extra bulk. Might as well go with fighting versus fighting here to the double kickin' chicken. So right before battling Brawley here, almost overleveled my Combuskin. Just very almost. I just don't know how I'm going to deal with the overleveling in the future, but remains to be seen. So Brawley, unlike the original games, it only has 2 Pokemon this time around. I was kind of worrying about that meta type, but since he doesn't have it, I definitely didn't have any qualms with this battle as I send in my routes. Now with routes being a Psychic and Fairy type, again I had very little worry taking out Brawley. Routes isn't the bulkiest Pokemon, so even a few not very effective hits posed a challenge, especially coming from Karate Chop with the high critical hit ratio. But using Confusion there and Double Team, I'm able to kind of get off a solid hit with Machop, and one more Confusion is definitely enough to take it out. Now, Routes does have the defense drop, but I'm still not too worried about it since the Double Team hopefully will protect me, and I'm hoping that Routes can at least live one hit from Makuhita. So I decided to stay in. Oh, never mind, I did not stay in. I switch out Routes into Shroomish as Makuhita goes for the Sand Attack, and the idea here is to go for the same Leech Seed Stun Spore strat that won me my first gym badge. So getting the paralysis off on the Makuhita, just kind of lowering its speed and also heightening the chances of it not attacking a turn, as it's continually going for this Sand Attack, lowering my accuracy. So I go for the Leech Seed just to see if I can hit even with those stat drops. And I landed the Leech Seed on the first turn there as it goes for the bulk up, and just getting that chip damage off with Leech Seed. So now that Makuhita is kind of set up on, decided like what I should do here, and I decided to swap back into my route, or to my Combuskin, just to continuously just get some damage off, because I just wanted to save routes just in case. Definitely not believing in its defense prowess here against the +2 Makuhita. So with Combuskin, the idea here is to drop its accuracy. So even if it is boosting, it's going to be boosting with its bulk up. When it does decide to attack, it won't be able to land a blow. So just leaving in Combuskin here, just going for the sand attacks. The accuracy strat, I know, is not very great, but hey, whatever gets the gym badge. So with Combuskin, just continuously going for the sand attack. I'm not gonna risk getting hit by this boosted up Makuhita. But even the boost and the arm thrust, I was almost taken out. Definitely, yeah, I don't think any of my other Pokemon would have been able to survive that hit. Especially with that multi-hit there, but it's definitely not missing anything yet. So I decided to go for the Ember, the special attack, just to bypass its defense boost and taking out that Makuhita, winning me the second gym badge. It was definitely a challenge, and I definitely thought I was going to lose Combuskin there. So yeah, remains to be seen there. So heading up almost to Mafia City, I ran into May again, which definitely posed problems for my team, definitely with the Marsh Chop. And since I didn't lose Shroomish, I do have some kind of answer for her Marsh Chomp with my Grass type there. So as she sends in her Shroomish, I decided to lead with Combuskin just to, get a quick hit there with the Flame Charge. Just boosting my speed as Shroomish decides to go for the Stun Spore. So hoping that I don't get, para-haxed or anything, I just decide to go, or flinched here with the Headbutt since now it's faster. Decided to go for another Flame Charge, just taking it out almost immediately. And getting another speed boost, which if she doesn't stand in Marsh Chomp, definitely planned on probably staying in, but oh yeah, and Routes Learning, Magic Relief, they're definitely getting another answer to Marsh Chomp in the future in case Shroomish falls. So she sent in Marsh Chomp, which is definitely going to be the big threat for this team here. Definitely don't want Combustion to go down just yet. Definitely need its fighting type moves for Watson, as she goes for Bide for some reason. So she could definitely have gone for an attacking move, but she decided to go for Bide, which does give me a turn to kind of set up a stun spore on her. Now that I definitely felt lucky, just the fact that I got that free turn on the switch there. Since I didn't attack, Bide wasn't going to do anything, but it got paralyzed anyway on that turn as I go for a Mega Drain. Now the second Mega Drain is definitely taking a toll on this Marshall as it goes for a Mud Shot there, trying to lower my speed even more. So I'm hoping that I'm still faster than this Marshall as I go for another Mega Drain, and since I am, I was able to connect and take it out, take out this huge threat to my team here. So now that Marshtomp is down, I'm feeling very confident that I'm able to pull this out. So many previous runs I've done in other games, I just always fail at this point. So now that Marshtomp's dead, it's a pretty big threat. She was able to send in Slugma, and not fearing anything, I just kind of go back into my Combuskin here just to pick up the win. As Slugma just goes for the Rock Throw, which isn't super effective since Combuskin is part fighting and fighting resist rock type moves. So on the next turn, it goes for the Harden there, just boosting its defense as I get paralyzed. Now on the next turn here, it decides to go for an Ember, which is not really effective, as I decide to go for the Double Kick, which isn't really doing too much, do a little more than half since the Harden boost there. So it goes for another Ember as I decide to go for another Double Kick, taking it out and beating my rival for the second time. Now that battle definitely woke me up to the challenges of this run, and Combuskin did gain a level there during that battle. So yeah, it is kind of over leveled when I'm facing up against Watson here. So yeah, I decided to still use it, but just kind of sack it during this battle. So up against Watson here, the third gym battle. Watson is definitely a difficult difficult gym battle in this generation. So he decides to lead with a Magnemite, as I decide to go and start off with my Makuhita, since I didn't want to start with Combuskin and get even more of a level difference going. So on the first turn, I go for the Fake Out, just getting that flinch off and hopefully breaking if it had sturdy or not, and then going for the Force Palm there on the second turn, taking out Magnemite. Now, the second Pokemon he sends in is a Voltorb, which would definitely outspeed Makuhita, as it goes for the Volt Switch, getting a critical hit there, which is not good, because I was kind of banking on Makuhita just taking out and dealing with his Steel types. So as I go for the Sand attack there, he swaps into Magneton, as I decide on the next turn to swap out into Shroomish to kind of resist any of Magneton's moves, as it goes for another Volt Switch. Now this Volt Switch strategy is definitely going to be a problem, since I don't have any real resistors other than my Shroomish, and if Shroomish goes down, I'm going to be facing some real problems here. So he swaps back into Voltorb and decides to go for a Charge, which boosts his special defense, as I go for a Stun Spore, not really knowing that if it was going to connect or not. If Electrolite can be paralyzed, so it can't, so it wasn't affected, so essentially just wasted a turn there and popped my Orange Berry to get some health back as he goes back into Magneton here. I go for the Leech Seed, which more or less doesn't really matter since he's just Volt switching between his Pokemon at this point. Don't really have anything I wanted to swap into to kind of deal and kind of tank these kind of hits. So he goes for a Magnet Bomb, surprisingly, as I thought he was going to go for a Volt Switch. As I just go for a Mega Drain, since Shroomish can't really touch this thing and I have nothing I can do a clean swap into a Volt Switch, a Magneton Volt Switch into. So as the Leech Seed just continues to get some chip damage off and I get some health back, hoping that I can survive another hit, just kind of on luck here. I managed to survive on 9 hit points as I go for another Mega Drain and get some more health back with Leech Seed, just kind of trying to stall as much as possible here. Just trying to whittle Magneton get as low as possible, because this Magneton is the biggest threat against my team here. So I swap into my Combuskin, who's pretty over level at this point, against this gym leader, as it decides to go for a Magnet Bomb. So I decide to kind of sack Combuskin in this battle, since he is pretty over leveled, and yeah, there's gotta be some consequences to that. So I decided to go for a Supersonic, which I wasn't expecting. I also wasn't expecting Magneton to outspeed like that. So with the Confusion, I do not break through it, and I hurt myself in Confusion, but that Leech Seed is definitely still active there. Surprised he hasn't Volt Switched out to kind of eliminate that threat, eliminate that chip damage on himself. But Watson winds up going for a Super Potion, which gets Magneton back to full. Just kind of disheartening with all the work that Shroomish had to put in to get it down that low to begin with, as Combuskin manages to hit itself again in Confusion. But that Leech Seed damage is definitely doing its work at this point. Magneton goes for the Volt Switch again, and swapping back into the Voltorb here, and this Volt Switch strategy wasn't as bad against Eliza, but against Watson and Magneton, for some reason it's just hard to deal with. As I go for the Flame Charge and be in Voltorb in one hit, getting that speed boost there, hoping that it'll be the same story against this Magneton when it comes back out. So I decided the last Pokemon finally is a Magneton, no Volt Switching, no running away here. As I go for the double kick, kind of thinking that it's just going to take it out, but Magneton lives on what must be like 1 or 2 health, as Magneton goes for the Volt Switch, taking out Combuskin finally. So I didn't swap out of Combuskin because I wanted to sack him in this battle anyway. He was getting pretty over leveled, and I had no way of kind of slowing that down. So I send in my Shroomish to kind of get that revenge kill off on, as for some reason Magneton goes for the Supersonic instead of going for the high probable kill with Magnet Bomb here. So I can't break through Confusion for some reason. and just deciding what I'm going to do. Goes for the Manly Bomb again, taking out Norris. Unfortunately, just losing Shroomish and Combustion in one fight is definitely not ideal, but oh well. Decided to send in Makuhita and trying to gain that fake out. Just gotta move first because this Phantom just outspeeding everything on my team. And that fake out was enough to take it out, earning me the 3rd gym badge. But yeah, losing 2 Pokemon against Watson definitely wasn't great, but unfortunately I decided to take on the Windstray family afterwards with no training, and forgetting that it's Elite Four style with consecutive battles, with the last Windstray family here sending out a Meta-type, which is part Psychic, and having that type advantage on my team. Decided to go for the fake out just to get that flinch off. But it outspeeds and goes for the Force Palm, taking out Yen, which is pretty unfortunate. Hoping that I can get something going with routes here, which is now a Curlia. So yeah, just hoping to get something going here, because unfortunately this Meta-type is going to take out my team. Going for that Disarming Voice definitely doesn't take it out. And unfortunately, it just goes for the Fent here on my Curlia, since Curlia's defenses aren't that great, and that crit probably wasn't even needed. Wiped my team, ending the run.